All right, everyone. Well, I'm back in my office, as you can see. Got home late last night and got some trades this morning. A small green day, despite the fact that we have some bigger percentage movers. You'll see right now our leading percentage gainer, OPTX, 137%. This was up about 250%. It's been declining as the day's gone on. WENA, or whatever you want to call it, up 112%. CMAX up about 70%. So you've got some stocks moving. FFIE over here up about 78%, 500 million shares of volume. So if we look at the volume in the market today, highest volume on the cheap stocks, low price stocks. The higher price stocks here, you've got a lot of volume on Rivian. Rivian had some news that came out yesterday about Volkswagen investing in the company, about $1 billion. I think it was a convertible note. So an investment they can turn into, they can either have repaid with interest or they can convert into equity. But it doesn't change the fact that Rivian has been really beaten up since the IPO. Had a peak of nearly $200 a share and has now come way down. So I guess Volkswagen, and I don't know the history of if they've already had some relationship, but they're getting in kind of off the lows, which is a pretty good strategic place to be putting some money into it. So anyways, I got home last night around 3 in the morning, so pretty late. And then I was sitting down here in front of my computer at like 6:45. So didn't get a lot of sleep last night. One thing I will caution is trading while you are sleep deprived. It is so easy to overestimate that you're good, you're totally fine. And then next thing you know, your eyes are a little blurry eyed and you're suddenly in a trade with way too much size and you're down 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 and the loss is accelerating. I remember one time I flew to Italy. I left from JFK and I flew to Venice. So it's like a 7-8 hour flight, something like that. The flight leaves at like 9 o'clock at night from New York, gets in, let's say 8 hours later. So it's getting in at like 3, 4, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, something like that. When you get to Italy, in Venice, you could take a little boat to downtown from the airport to the hotels you're staying at or wherever you're staying. So we did that. By the time I get to the hotel, the sun's rising. It looks like it's a beautiful day and I feel wired. I'm awake. So I'm like, you know what? Look at the time. It's like, I don't know, something like, must have been like noontime or something like that. It's like 6 a.m. Eastern. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll go ahead and see how the market's looking. I have to set up my trading station anyways. I promptly sit down and lose like $10,000. And I was like, you're such an idiot. Like, what were you thinking? So that was in hindsight. I was able to reflect that was really quite a mistake. Taking the lesson from that loss, I have applied that moving forward to remind myself that when I am exhausted, especially from travel, take it slow. So that's exactly what I did today. All right, so let's back up and look at my first trade for the day. So the first stock I traded was WENA. WENA float is 1.7 million shares. It's a very low float stock. The thing about this one, as you can see, it's kind of been selling off since the open. We peaked at about a little over $5 a share. But what's interesting about this one was that it was really a grinder. I mean, yes, it did make a move. It pushed higher, but it wasn't super easy. So when I first sat down, I saw it was on the scan because it had already made this move up. But at the time, OPTX was our leading percentage gainer. So the first stock I looked at when I sat down was the leading percentage gainer on the day, OPTX. And I thought, well, big pop up, pull back, pop up. This was 7 a.m. So I'm sitting down watching it and I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know, maybe over 850, we could get a push higher, but I don't know. I'm not sure. And then it just kind of rolled over. It pulled back. And so I didn't end up getting any trades on OPTX. I was tempted a couple times, but didn't end up happening. So then the second leading gapper was this one here. And as I pulled it up right around 7:15, 7:30, this is where I actually took my first trade. So right here, you could see it's going sideways. And right there is where we start to break out. And I jumped in there and I got a pretty quick $500 winner. Let me pull my P&L up here for you. Sorry. So $558 not a big trade. Punched it with 2,500 shares, added another 2,500, ended up, picking off about 11 cents a share. It's a small base hit. Can't complain about that. It's good. First goal each day is to try to get myself up $1,000 with 5,000 share positions. So that's 20 cents a share. And once I'm up $1,000, then I can lean in, trade a little bit more aggressively, increase my size. But this was a good start. So halfway to that $1,000 goal. But as you can see, didn't end up getting much further. So it pulls back here, and I did not want to trade it on this breakout. And here's the reason. I was looking at this area. MACD had crossed over. So we had the MACD positive, then we had a crossover. I know that once we have that MACD crossover, false breakouts are much more likely. And we had a couple right there. And it was just so choppy. I just felt like, how much would I really make on this if it goes up? I just didn't feel confident. But it did end up pushing higher. Yes, there were some topping tails, just like what we saw yesterday on the other stock we were trading yesterday. I can't remember the ticker now. Maybe it was MLG. No, it was RGS. RGS had a lot of topping tails yesterday. Anyways, bottoming tail here, ends up pushing up to 480, dipping down, pushing up to 480, tapping 5, and then rejecting that whole dollar and selling off pretty hard, all the way down here to 350, as you can see. And it never got back to those highs, at least not yet. And now at this point, I'm not going to take any more trades today. So I only got one trade on WENA. I saw some people who commented that they did quite well on it. And I was like, well, the only way you did that was either take big size or, you got in and then you sold up here. You held for a lot longer, which is fine, but I didn't do that. So that was the first trade. And then second trade of the day was on BJDX. This one hit the scanner, and it's quite sad looking chart. When it hit the scanner, I saw that there was news on it, and I saw the float was 328,000 shares, so very low float stock, recent reverse split, and I was like, this can be the perfect storm for a big move, so let's see what this wants to do. So when it first popped up, the volume was very light. And I saw it at $4, 380 by 4. And I said, I don't know, guys. I'm going to, I think, wait for a little more volume to come in. So a little more volume comes in and it pops up right here. And I got in right here at about 460. I buy, I think it was 600 shares. It goes up to 540. It drops back down. I stopped out for a $45 loss. No big deal. I tried, but whatever. Comes back up. I'm like, okay, I'll get back in. I got back in here for the break through the high and another $60 loss. So managed my risk, kept my stops tight, and then when it just was unwinding here, I was like, wow, this is really selling off awfully hard. I'm kind of surprised. So anyways, now it's, I think, down on the day. Let's see. I think it is. Anyways, so that was my second trade, so I lost 100 on that. And then I got some trades on MLGO, which was one that I traded earlier this week. So MLGO, pre-market, all of a sudden pops up right here. And as it pops up, I jumped in for the break of 17. I got in around 1650, 1675, I think. Hits 17, it pulls back. Then it punches here up to 1750, it drops back down. I did get myself up over $1,000 today, 1,050. And then I lost $225 on my last trade on MLGO. Halts twice going down at the open and then bounces all the way back up and goes green on the day. I don't even know what to say about that. That was ridiculous. So very volatile, wild stock. I also had RGS on watch from the big move yesterday. I kind of wondered if it would try to make a move, an attempt at retesting yesterday's highs, but it dipped down a little bit, pre-market. Popped up a bit, light volume. I guess it popped up here, dropped down. Generally, though, volume is very light. The spreads are quite big. So that more or less makes it untradeable. And if we look at it on the daily chart, you can sort of see how it's positioned funny because yesterday has a topping tail. Today opened kind of low relative to that green candle. So it just doesn't quite look right. Maybe it goes higher, but I kind of doubt it. Now, MLGO, we did get... kind of that continuation on this one where we had day one and it opened a little lower and then pushed through for day two. So that's what I was sort of wondering if we would get, but we didn't. VLCN, this was another one that was on the scans yesterday, had some volatility. Today, I was sort of like, are we going to get, something on this one? But no, we kind of didn't. So I don't know why today was so slow. I know yesterday, and I think it was Monday. I mean, I think every day this week there have been issues people have been having with Thinkorswim. So, that might reduce the volume a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, we had like 200% moves on Monday and Tuesday. So, today it's a little bit slower, maybe relatively, than yesterday and the day before. But nonetheless, it's a small green day, trading with only a few hours of sleep. So, I'm pleased with that. I feel like this is kind of the best case scenario, honestly, for a day where you only get a couple hours of sleep. That you sit down, you get a couple small base hits without taking a lot of risk, and you live to trade another day. You got a little bit more in your pocket than you had when you started. So if we look at my accuracy today, one winner on WENA, actually two winners and one loser right here. So we've got now, two winners and one loser. So we've got, I'm not gonna be able to do it here because it's gonna fade. So let's see, I'll just count on my hand. So we got one winner on WENA, one loser on MLGO, but two winners. So three winners and one loser. And then I had two trades on BJDX and they were both losers. So accuracy today, 50-50, 50%, three winners, three losers, but I'm green. So average losers today, two losses, average on BJDX were $50 losses, and then one $200 loss. So yeah, so average losers like, whatever, $75, something like that. $100 each maybe. That's not too bad, all things considered. But you can see the average winners are also small. And it's not really that I was taking super small share size. My trade on WENA was 2,500 or 5,000 shares. One of my trades on MLGO was 3,000 shares. We just didn't get like big moves around the times when I was taking these trades. We got a couple that were grinding higher, but we didn't get the big breakouts that I was looking for. So, that's just the way it goes sometimes. It's a small green day. Yesterday was a $4,500 green day, so I'm grateful for that. Today, only 800, but now up over 5,000 on the week. Weekly goal is, kind of optimistically around 15,000. And I'll kind of break that down for you because some of you guys are going to be like, wait a second. Your daily goal is 5,000. So daily goal is a little optimistic, but about 5,000, right? So $5,000. So, but this is how I kind of figure it. So let's say, Monday, let's say I'm up 5,000. Tuesday, let's say I'm up 5,000. Nice. Wednesday, let's say I'm up 5,000. Again, nice. Thursday, let's just say I'm up 5,000 again. It's great. $20,000. Friday, I hit max loss minus 5,000, right? So then weekly goal, well, these 2 days cancel each other out. Daily goal times 3. So weekly goal is not daily goal times 5, it's weekly goal times 3, daily goal times 3. So 15,000. And that just, factors in the very real likelihood that there will be red days. So then this has me, monthly goal around, $50,000, $60,000. Some months are higher, some months are lower. And then annual goal, I'd like to be 500,000 and higher, 700,000, 750 would be nice. And that can happen if I have a couple of really good months. I can certainly push $1 million if I have a couple of good months. But, if I have some slower months and I'm kind of grinding, then I might be down a little bit lower. So at the end of the day, I'm a big believer that you'll get what the market's willing to give you as long as you're disciplined and you follow your rules. You just, it's sort of out of your control. What you can control is following your max loss, following your rules, and staying disciplined, right? If the market gives you huge opportunities, we have stocks going crazy, you can make a lot of money, and as long as you're following your rules. And if we don't, then you won't. And that's kind of out of your control. Certainly if you want to cast a wider net, you could spend time learning different strategies. You could spend time learning how to trade different markets like cryptocurrency or futures or Forex, this and that. Some people have the motivation to do it. Others don't. I personally don't. I feel like I've done well enough with stocks that I'm like, when it's slow, I'll just kind of enjoy being able to lay back a little bit. And I know that it'll all even out, at some point. It's not my goal to just work 24 hours a day and stare at screens 24 hours a day. That's not life. That's not why I started trading. You know, for me, learning to trade wasn't about making a lot of money. It was about the lifestyle of being your own boss and the freedom that comes with that. So I really try to, embrace that and trade less when it's slow. Anyways, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please hit that thumbs up. I hope you subscribe. And I'll remind you, as always, that trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so manage your risk, take it slow. And I'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning.